And we are on. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this is now the 18th time we have gone live with 500 miles here. I'm your host, Adam Relkin, and joining me as a special guest this week, we have Shadowbones14, who, for the longtime people here, you may remember Shadowbones from a few years ago when I used to be a gaming streamer. Me and him used to do some collaborations. But now he's coming here to talk about racing with me, so glad to have you on with me today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Should be a good time.
Yeah, so I know you were at New Hampshire this weekend, and just tell me a little bit about how that was.
Yeah, that was it was kind of a last minute thing for me. My brother-in-law and his dad invited me. They were supposed to take my nephew to his first race, but he ended up having a birthday party for a fellow classmate. So they asked me on, I believe it was Thursday afternoon, if I wanted to go. I was like, yeah, I'll go. Sure. I've never seen the next gens, and I've seen the racing at New Hampshire. I was like, it's actually kind of better than it was in like the late, just the 2010s in general, because that's when I started going to the races there.
Yeah, I will admit the next gen has. I will admit, while some of the short tracks have really struggled with the next gen, Martinsville and Bristol in particular,
Yeah.
I will say New Hampshire, tracks like New Hampshire, Dover, and Richmond have been the best amongst the short tracks with the next gen. So I
Yeah.
think it's something that really stands out. And New Hampshire, I mean, they haven't really had a bad next gen race, I think. And
No,
I
I
thought
didn't think
that,
so.
and I thought that this weekend proved again that New Hampshire has been one of the better short tracks with the next gen car. It might have to do with it being a larger short track,
Yeah.
but even then, I still thought that what we saw was good racing. Now, I know you were
Yeah.
there, I assume there was a lot of passing. Like,
Yeah, I was impressed with the amount of passing. I mean, we all know the troubles with the next gen car is that it gets really bad in dirty air, the aero blocking. A lot of places become insanely tough to pass, and we've always known New Hampshire as like a really difficult passing track for like as long as I can remember. And I've been watching NASCAR since at least 2004, 2005. Even back then, even though the racing was probably a lot better than what we're getting now, it was still difficult to pass there. But I was impressed.
yeah, I mean, they also brought a new tire to.
Yep.
They also brought a new tire to New Hampshire, the same one they brought to Richmond,
Yep.
which I think it did help with the racing as well.
Yep.
And
I agree.
I think we've been on a somewhat decent streak of races lately. Like the Bristol Night Race might have been race of the year, for example. That might have been
Yeah,
the
it's
race of the. That
it's
might have
up
been
there
race
for
of the
sure.
year.
Hmm.
And in New Hampshire, this was a pretty good one too. And I mean, I didn't think Darlington or Gateway were too bad. And Daytona
No.
was a thriller. And Richmond, we
Hmm.
haven't had a bad race since Watkins, like a bad race since like Watkins Glen, I
Yeah,
think. That was
that was
probably
pretty rough.
that was probably the last bad race we've had. So we've been on a decent streak after a
Yeah.
bit of a rough summer in terms of
Yeah.
races. But in general, though, the domination, the biggest story of Sunday was Ryan Blaney, but not just Ryan
Hmm.
Blaney, all of Team Penske, except
Yeah.
Austin Cindric.
Yeah.
Like,
Except Cindric, he was definitely a tier or two below the three dominant cars for sure.
yeah, and when I say Penske, I am also including the 21 car Josh
Yeah.
Berry and the Wood brothers, because
Well.
many consider that to be a shadow fourth
Yeah.
Penske car.
Yeah. I mean.
So, yeah, I mean, I think in terms of that, Ryan Blaney, he ends up getting his third win of the year, his first ever at New Hampshire. And
Yeah.
Penske, were there any laps they no, were there any laps they didn't lead today? I mean,
Um.
not today. Uh, I
Yeah.
think Larson. I think Larson took the lead at one point, and I think
Yeah.
Chase
So we
Briscoe.
had. Yeah. So yeah, in stage two there was a caution. I don't know if that was the big one, the big one that we had that day,
Yeah.
or the contact teammates that I know we're gonna get to eventually.
Oh,
But on one of the restarts, there was a pit stop, and Briscoe and a bunch of guys took two. He got out first. I think it was Briscoe then Larson, because I know Larson passed him a little bit after to take the lead, and then Logano got back in front.
yeah. They didn't
So
hold
there
on
were other
to
guys.
and they didn't
Hmm.
hold on to the lead, which I
No,
think proves
they fell
that the
off.
tires, which I think proves that the tires worked
They
here.
did.
Which I think is just something that I mean we've wanted to see out of the next gen, because I know besides the aero issues, the second biggest complaint people have had with the next gen is the tires not wearing, And here you go.
Yeah.
I mean, you get a much better racing when the tires wear. And
Yeah.
and I mean, the best car won today.
Yeah.
I mean, not why do I keep saying today? I mean, on Sunday. Like the best
No,
car won. I
I
mean,
got you.
Blaney. I mean, the battles that he had with Logano were really good as well to watch.
Yeah, it was exciting because I was sitting right in the entrance of turn one. I was like, man, he's right there. Like either he's got to get him arrow loose or he's got to just drive it in deep and either force him out of the groove so that he can get a good run because the outside was the lane you wanted to be in. It was dominant.
Yeah.
Like I was seeing a lot of guys were struggling on the bottom to make passes.
Yeah, the top was definitely the better line all race long. But then also, if I go back to, if I then also discuss what happened with, sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. But then like, in terms of like the battles, like Blaney was still able to get around him. Like he didn't need lap traffic to do so either. So I mean, it just was there. And in terms of performances, like we'll go through the leaderboard here, kind of driver by driver. I mean, Ryan Blaney and Josh Berry. Josh Berry, I know there was some aero blocking there at the end. I mean, but it was still a fun battle. Like it was still a fun battle. It's just, and even then, like I feel if Berry did pass Blaney, he was not going to hold on, considering he was on 2 tires, not 4, and the tires were wearing. Like you could tell Berry was. Even after losing air, he was still dropping. So, like, I feel that even had Berry been able to get around Blaney was probably going to get him back pretty quickly because of the tires. So, I'm not going to fully blame, not going to 100% blame the car. It's just that strategy didn't go in Berry's way. And it would have been a cherry on the top but for the wrong reasons if Berry had won, because he had 3 straight last place finishes. And if he won the race, he would have wished that this race had been in the round of 16 because he would have gotten through, and that would have knocked. Who would that have knocked out?
That would have been Briscoe because he was 8th entering New Hampshire.
No, 12th. Whoever was 12th.
Oh, 12th. 12th was
it Chase? Was it Chase Elliott?
No, or was it? Oh, it's so hard to remember because of the reset. The reset messes everything up. He was definitely down there because I think, if Bowman had won, Chase Elliott would have been eliminated. I think he was in 12th because of the wreck at Bristol.
So if New Hampshire was in the round of 16, then Chase Elliott would have been out. So I think Chase Elliott is glad that this was in the round of 12. But I don't know how everything would have shaken up if he ran what he ran that on Sunday. And in comparison to everybody else, because he was ahead, he beat Bowman, and he pretty much beat all but 4 of the 4 or 5, 4 playoff guys. Yeah.
So he would have been amongst the top guys. I think it would have squeaked him in just barely still.
Yep.
Maybe.
So then we go through some of the other finishers. William Byron 3rd. I think they said this was Byron's first ever lead lap finish at New Hampshire or something like that.
It was his first top 10, which I was surprised. I thought he was decent at New Hampshire, but I guess I was wrong.
He has a truck win at New Hampshire in 2016.
Yep, I remember that.
But that's about it.
Yeah, he was just quietly there. Like he was good car, but he just wasn't up there with the Penske guys.
And then Logano, he got 4th. He led the most laps. Chase Elliott 5th. Yeah. He needed that 5th. Bell. So I was surprised that Bell didn't win because I was marking him. I was marking him because Bell is basically the king of New Hampshire, and I was like, "What happened?" Yeah. And I don't think it was just a Bell problem, I think it was Joe Gibbs.
Toyota was just off.
Joe Gibbs Racing just did not nail the setups. I mean,
they were beat by Hendrick. At a track that they've dominated. They've won, what was it? I think it was the last 4 before Sunday. Yeah, last 4.
Yeah, Joe Gibbs has won every single, until Sunday, Joe Gibbs has won every next-gen race at New Hampshire. They won the first one with Bell. The second one was Martin Truex.
Yep, Truex,
and then the third was Bell last year. Then the 4th goes to Blaney. So, I was surprised it was not Bell because he's the king of New Hampshire now. Like,
I was looking Bell or Briscoe to be the guys to beat, and they didn't have it.
also, I want to say great run for Michael McDowell in eighth.
Oh
Like,
yeah, the him and Hocevar, they surprised me. I mean, Hocevar qualified. I think did he qualify fifth? He was top 10 or top 5 in qualifying, and he stayed up there. But I
yeah,
think he did kind of fall off towards the end. I don't know if it was pit strategy or just his car just fell off at the end
yeah.
a little bit.
Carson Hocevar also got fastest lap of the race as well, so he gets the bonus
Oh
point
wow,
there. Um,
nice, good for him.
yep, and then Briscoe
Good to
rounded
see.
out the top 10. Ham
Yep.
and Denny Ham. You know, why don't we just get to it now?
All right.
Because he finished in 12th. So I remember when I was watching this part, I'm like, wait, what the heck is Ty Gibbs doing in the wall? Like, and then we cut to that replay, and it turns out that Denny Hamlin. I think that was intentional.
I mean, it definitely was. So I I saw them battling, the three of them battling for laps. I didn't see everything that happened, but watching the highlights and then watching like the interviews and then watching his podcast, of course, I didn't really realize that Gibbs and the 20 were getting into it before. Like apparently he door slammed the 20 and then radioed off being really upset that he wasn't going to take it from his teammates, even though they were in the playoffs fighting for a championship. And then Hamlin got past the 20 and then tried to pass him. And then he got sick and tired of it, so he shipped him. He
Yeah,
says he didn't mean to wreck him. He just wanted to knock him out of the way because he was holding them up, which he absolutely was. I mean, he was definitely the weakest JGR car that day.
Hamlin. Yeah, and just in general, like I personally feel though that NASCAR should have taken a look into that. I don't know if they did. I don't think they didn't. I feel they should have taken a look
I
into
don't
that
know.
because they probably would have if Christopher Bell got collected because Christopher Bell was so close to getting involved in that.
Yeah, I thought he was in it because I that was like where he crashed was like the apex of my vision of the corner. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, is Bell in it? I'm like, nope, he barely squeaked by. I was like, oh, that's not good.
yeah. So like, I just think that, and I mean, it was interesting seeing what Ty Gibbs was saying after, and he basically copied what Kyle Busch did, which we'll get to that late. We'll get to him later.
Yep.
We got some words about him, but
Oh yeah.
when it comes to that, like it felt like Ty Gibbs was trying to do what Kyle Busch did. It felt the same way, and I'm
Yep.
like, I just it's just funny because like I mean I just felt the questions that were being asked weren't really the best though in the moment
No,
from the
not
broadcast, but Ty
not
just did the
really.
best he could with it and tried to put a
Yeah.
spin to it. And
I
then we go
I th-
through yeah.
hmm.
And then we go through some of the other finishers like Austin Dillon at 13th. We'll talk about his little scuffle a little later.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Ryan Preece 14th, home track for him. Uh,
Mm,
Noah Gregson, he gets a top 20 at 16th.
mm, yep.
There was also Cindric, who was way off compared to the Penske
Yeah.
cars.
I mean, I think the
Uh,
best I saw him was maybe eighth, not seventh,
one,
eighth, or ninth. He was
yeah,
just in the top 10 for a little bit. I think it was because he took two tires, but he fell back.
yeah, 1, 2, 4, 17. Like, that's not good for Cindric.
No.
And then there was a double top 20 for front row, which they really
Hmm.
needed because Todd Gilliland, I
Hmm.
mean, he got 19th, and it has
Yep.
not been a good year for Todd Gilliland. He's 31st in points,
No. It
and
has not been one.
I feel pretty bad for him just saying that. And it was a
Yeah.
really, really bad day for 2311.
Yeah.
And
They were off. I mean, Reddick was. I think Reddick qualified top 10. He was up there. He didn't have a great car, but he was at least keeping a decent track position. But Bubba he was way off on
yeah,
Sunday. Even he said it after the race that like yeah, like we had a really good round one, and then to just come into here and just be completely way off was really disheartening. And according to him and his crew, that he was having a handful. And I did see him fighting his car in the corners. I mean, a lot of drivers were sliding in turn one. Like they would enter low, some would hit the bump on the apron and wash up. There would be guys that would enter a little bit higher and get into the marble. I can't believe that nobody hit the wall right there, because there were so many guys that got into the marbles just getting loose. And I was like, there's got to be a bunch of people hitting the wall.
Yeah.
But nope.
And yeah, and like 21st, 22nd, 26th for 2311. Really not a good day for all three of them. And right now, both of them are below the cut line. We'll get to the cut line a bit after we go through the results. And then Brad Keselowski, he tried to run a line that you can't run.
Yeah, I saw that going into, I'm like, that's not gonna work. And then once I saw SVG, I'm like, yep, there they go. That's gonna be a pile up.
Yeah, and that
wasn't
ended
it
up
as I
causing,
thought it was gonna be, but it took out a lot of cars for sure.
Yeah, that caused a big pile up. And again, like, you can't run down there. Like, have we ever seen a guy hit that wall down there? I don't think so.
Oh no, it's super narrow. I mean, you know, it's super narrow over in turn two. That's where the tunnel is. It's very narrow over there.
And that's also where one of the road course chicanes is.
Yeah.
Because you have the backstretch road course.
Yep.
And they have a turn. They have a sharp left and then a very sharp 90-degree turn, and then it goes back to the hills. Where New Hampshire used to be a full-fledged road course. There was not an oval until 1990, I want to say.
Yeah, I think you're right on that.
Yeah, which Bob Bear built. So then, as I mentioned with Brad, like, that was, I don't know what he was trying. I still love that Red Sox painting. I'm not a Red Sox fan by any means, but I really enjoyed the scheme he had, and he actually threw out the first pitch at a Red Sox game recently. My friend, one of my roommates, was actually at that game. Funny enough.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and he texted me like after the first pitch, who's Brad Keselowski, and I told him he's a Cup Series champion for 2012. Yep. So then we go through some of the other results. It was not a good day for Legacy Motor Club. Both cars did not have good speed either.
Yeah.
Eric Jones, 28th.
Yeah.
And then Kyle Busch. Like I hate doing this every week. I hate doing this every week, but is Kyle Busch like just not good anymore? Like, and I feel like, unfortunately, we have to wait until next year to test that. We'll get into that other news in a little bit.
Yeah.
But is Kyle Busch just not good anymore? Because at the start of the race, he was 35th on pace.
Yep.
And he was losing spots. He wasn't stuck in dirty air. He was genuinely losing positions.
He was way off. He was awful. I was like, wow. Like he could be cooked. He could honestly be cooked.
And like, I don't know
I
how to feel.
I want to give him the benefit of the doubt, but his teammate has been consistently outrunning him. I mean, when was the last time that Kyle Busch had race-winning pace? Like, I just don't remember the last time.
Year? Maybe Kansas last year, but he then wrecked himself. Like, Kyle he overdrives way too much with this car. Like, that's I just don't think
I don't think his driving style fits this car. He can't drive it wide open like he used to in the older cars. Like, his driving style is quite a bit different than most other drivers.
And even then, he struggles to win when he runs in the lower series. Like, I know he won Atlanta this year, but that's a super speedway. Like, Kyle has been struggling to win these truck races, too. So, like, I personally feel it might just be Kyle himself. And I mean, you remember when he ran those races for Kaulig in Xfinity 2? He didn't win any of them. Like, I just feel Kyle Busch just is just not as good as he was. Like, even if we still had the Gen 6, I feel Kyle would still be struggling.
Yeah. Possibly.
Like, I don't think it's just an next gen thing. I feel Kyle started to fall off after 2019, after he won his second fight. Because in 2020, you may remember he was winless up until the third to last race of the year at Texas.
Yeah, he wasn't himself.
And then 2021, I know he made the Final Four, I think, but he had only like 2 wins that year.
Yeah.
And then
the disaster of 2022.
Yeah, like, and then I know he started off strong with Childress, and I know some people also
Yeah.
say that Richard Childress could be the problem, but Austin Dillon got a win in those cars,
Yeah.
and we know Austin Dillon is not one of the best drivers out there. No shade to him or anything, but
Yeah.
I mean, I think he's also. I think what's also helped Austin this year is that he's also had a really great crew chief in Richard Boswell.
Mm.
And speaking of crew chiefs, Richard Boswell. I mean, he really helped the 14 team rebuild after Chase Briscoe's struggles with Stuart Haas. So I
Yeah.
think it has helped Austin Dillon this year because I mean Austin Dillon I know he would not have made the playoffs on points, but he's had some good
Yeah.
runs as of late, even after
Yeah.
winning Richmond. Like New Hampshire, I mean, he was running
Mm.
good on pace. And then we'll go through some of the other results here. It might be better to jump to it now because we're on the subject of Kyle Busch. Randall Burnett is leaving
Mm.
RCR. He's going to be crew chief and Connor Zilish next year in whatever number that's going to
Mm.
be at Trackhouse.
Is he keeping the 99 because he's replacing Suarez, correct?
There was
Or are
no
they
number
rebranding it?
announced. There was
Are they
no number
rebranding it to the
announced.
87? Because I know he runs the 87 when he runs Cup.
I think Red Bull might have a say in what happens here
Maybe,
because
yeah.
I believe both WeatherTech and Red Bull are going to be sponsoring both Zilish and SVG.
Yep.
And I think Red Bull seems to want 87. So my guess is Zilish could be in the 87, but even then, it's still going to seem like somewhat of a new lineup because Max Widerski is now going to be leaving Trackhouse after this
Mhm.
year. I don't know where he will go, but Randall Burnett now is going to be crew chief in Connor Zilish. And this comes as a surprise to me because I was not thinking that Randall was gonna. I was not thinking that Randall was going to leave. I mean, I know all the Kyle Busch fans like to blame Randall Burnett for Kyle's struggles, but I feel Kyle's struggles are him. Like,
Yeah.
like almost every incident he has is his fault. Like every speeding, like Kyle Busch gets so many speeding penalties every week. He wrecks
Mhm.
himself every week. Like I feel
Yeah.
it's like Randall Burnett is not necessarily a top crew chief, but
Yeah.
I
He's
feel
serviceable.
I just feel that Kyle Busch is the main problem because Randall Burnett has won races with guys like Tyler Reddick. They won
Yeah.
4 races together in 2022.
Yeah, I mean that was quite a year for him. I
And
mean, especially before he was jumping to the 45.
yeah, and well, so yeah, like there's some rumors about who could become Kyle's crew chief next year. Some I know try to say Rodney Childers, but I've heard that is not likely. I've heard
I don't know
talks that
about that one.
Rodney Childers might be going down to the Truck Series next year. I've heard some rumblings about
Interesting.
that. I feel there's some teams that
That's
could be interesting.
Okay.
I feel something like maybe the Colic Ram team may want him. Maybe
Maybe.
McAnally if they expand. Like I feel there's a lot of options. Maybe Tricon. Like I feel there's a lot of top teams that might want to take a chance on Rodney Childers in the Truck Series because I feel Rodney
Yeah.
could do something interesting down there. And again, like Kyle, like there's been some talk that maybe Andy Street, who's for achieving the 33 car, which is the part-time RCR car in Cup,
Yep.
maybe he moves to the 8. Maybe Danny Stockman moves to the 2 car. There's some talk that Danny Stockman, who crew chiefs Jesse Love in the 2 car in Xfinity. There's some talk, and Danny Stockman and Kyle Busch have won together. I believe in either an Xfinity or trucks. I think
Yep.
trucks. I think it's
Yeah, I think
trucks
you're right.
that Danny Stockman has won with Kyle. So
Yep.
it wouldn't be a bad pairing. It's just a matter of if Kyle struggles again next year, I feel that there's going to be more of a clear picture that Kyle's the problem.
Yeah.
But you never know. Maybe Danny Stockman can get him in better shape. And
Maybe.
Danny Stockman, I mean, he's been in the sport for a long time. I mean,
Yeah.
like, and I mean, it would be good to have a veteran. I mean, Andy Street's more newer to the sport, if I'm not mistaken. I mean, he was with Austin Hill for a few years in Xfinity.
Hmm.
And I think now would be a good time to move on to Cody Ware because maybe we should bring up that one rule that Landon Castle brought up.
Rule number 1 in stock car racing is to wreck yourself or to wreck someone else without wrecking yourself.
Yeah, because that was something. I mean,
Yeah,
the
that
first,
happened right in front of me. So yeah, it was certainly something.
yeah. So that was an interesting saga. So the whole saga started when Austin Dillon spun Cody Ware early on in the race. And then Cody Ware
Mm.
tries to wreck him on purpose, and I think he almost took out like the leaders during that moment. No, no,
Ah, I forget.
the leaders was the first wreck.
Yeah, Blaney barely avoids him on the first one. He went around him. And that was right at the end of stage one because yeah, they pit stop. They did pit stops and then they had a one lap shootout for stage one. I was like, why did they even do that?
Yeah, your guess is as good as
Like,
mine. But
that was kind of a questionable decision, but
yeah,
didn't
but
really do anything.
we'll talk a little bit more about Ware Racing in a little
Yeah.
bit. But and then Shane Van Gisbergen, like, and
Ugh,
he was running like top 5 on speed, and
he was
again
impressive.
this was not a dirty air or a track position thing because he was passing
No.
people like
Yeah, he passed. He passed.
Hocevar.
Yeah, he passed Hocevar.
No,
He
not
passed Byron Larson.
And
I think
unfortunately, like,
did he pass Barry? I forget if he passed
I
Barry
think
or
so.
no, he didn't because he spun him.
Oh yeah, that was something.
Yeah,
Still very impressive that Barry was able to come back
yeah,
and finish in second.
yeah. Definitely the comeback of the race for sure. I
And
thought he was
Shane,
done when he was that far back.
yeah, I hate that for Shane Van Gisbergen because this was gonna be one of his best
Yeah,
non road course races for him
yeah.
for sure. And
He was
then
quite impressive.
we had a second modified race, if you want to put it, because there was a modified and Justin Haley out there at
There
the
was.
end.
First time
I
I've seen that since, oh goodness, when was the last time I saw a modified car at New Hampshire? I don't remember. It's been a long time though. I mean, thank God no more damaged vehicle policy because
in
that
the Cup
rule
Series at
overstates welcome.
least.
Yeah,
In the
yeah.
Cup Series at least.
It should
But
be gone in all the other series, but that's just me.
yeah, but Justin Haley, I mean, it was really funny really amazing to
Yeah.
see that modified there because the last time we've seen that I think was Bristol Dirt 2021 with Larson, I think.
Yeah,
Because they
I
allowed
remember that. Yep.
they allowed separate modifications for dirt, if I'm not mistaken. And then we
I
go
believe
through
you're
some of
correct.
the other finishers, John Hunter Nemechek, who took a hard hit. Like
Oh,
got
I
air,
saw that in I was like,
the,
ooh,
the
yeah,
whole car was off the
it
ground
was
as well.
massive hit.
Just thankful he's okay.
Yeah,
'Cause,
that's
thank
one of
goodness
the hardest
for
hits
thank
I've
goodness
seen.
for safer barriers as well. There,
Yeah,
they do their job. And then
yeah,
we
they
talked
do.
about Ty Gibbs, and then Daniel Suarez in the '99. He got air too in the big one.
Yeah, he did.
That was
Yeah,
interesting
just
to see
wrong
as
place at the
well.
wrong time.
But just not been good for Daniel Suarez this year. Which,
No.
if he wants to get that 7 car, I mean, he's got to have some better runs. Like, I think he's got a
Hmm.
shot at it still because of the money he has. But
Yeah.
but there's the rumors up in the air still that Daniel Suarez is going to go the 7 car next year. And I
Yeah.
think, and we'll talk before we go to the truck race. I think now would be a good time to bring up the settlement that has been achieved. So for those who are annoyed by NASCOURT, you get half off now. You get one half of it taken away now because the Legacy Motor Club Ware Racing lawsuit has been settled out of court.
Mm.
Thank God, to be honest, because to
Yeah.
be honest, that whole lawsuit felt like more of a mess than the 2311 front
Yeah,
row
it
lawsuit.
did.
The
It really did.
and I'm just glad they settled I'm just glad they settled that one because that was going to be a massive mess had that gone to trial in
Yeah,
January, which
exactly.
it was supposed to go to trial in January
Yeah.
next year. So basically, the settlement is that Legacy Motor Club will receive a third charter. Ware Racing will keep the other charter that they are currently leasing. Wait, no. The charter that they are currently leasing to RFK will go to Ware. The
Yes.
charter that Ware runs right now will go to Legacy Motor Club, but that does not mean that Legacy Motor Club is going to run 3 cars next year, as
Yes.
while Jimmy Johnson had made it a big priority to run 3 cars, there were more talks that Toyota was not ready for 3 cars for them yet. Now,
Mm.
from what it seems like, this might be a 2027 thing for Legacy. It seems like
Yeah.
that the plan is lease the because remember there's the existing agreement with RFK where they were going to lease, where Rick Ware was going to swap the charters they leased, but to keep the agreement intact, it looks like that Legacy Motor Club is going to lease the charter they just bought to RFK, and then they will run 3 cars full time in 2027. That's what it seems like based off of this whole deal. Again, it was just getting too late for Legacy Motor Club, and there were a bunch of rumors about who would go to that 3rd car, like Jesse Love was one. I still don't know what's going to happen with that. I don't know if they're going to maybe push him to 2027. I do think they will still probably run a 3rd car next year, like part-time, just to maybe get ready for 3 cars full-time in 2027, because they only ran it twice this year with Jimmy Johnson. I think what we could see happen is I think Jimmy will run more races than this year, because he wants to run, for example, he wants to run San Diego because that's his home. And then I imagine Jimmy Johnson will also make a Daytona 500, maybe Coke 600 again, maybe sprinkle in a few others and then call it a retirement after that. Like, it's just that I think Jimmy, I know he's made it to 700 starts like he wanted to make it to. It's just that I think Jimmy Johnson, though, he's going to probably want to run the 84 more next year like he did in 2024. To try to get the car more, just to kind of get the team ready for 2027. Just something I could see. And maybe they throw Jesse Love in, depending on whatever happens with his deal. He has a 3-year deal, I believe, with RCR. So I don't know exactly what will happen with that. But yeah, just something to think about. And both John Hunter Nemechek and Eric Jones are locked in through next year. I honestly feel that neither of them are going to probably be in danger beyond that, considering I don't think Legacy would want to hire 2 drivers in one off season.
Yeah.
So
probably not.
So right now, I mean, it seems like Zill is just going to probably be a one-man band for the Rookie of the Year honors if Jesse Love is not going to Cup next year. But we'll see what happens. So I think now would be a good time to move on to the truck race. You were there for trucks as well, right?
I sadly was not there Saturday. I wanted to go, but I ended up having stuff I had to do. Sadly, it's sad because I missed another great day of racing. Sadly,
yeah, the Truck Series. This is their first time going to New Hampshire since 2017. So it's been an 8-year hiatus for the trucks. So really nice to see the trucks back at New Hampshire again, because really nice to see them back in New Hampshire. And it ended up being Heim time. Corey Heim getting his 8th, I want to say, win on the year.
I think it was the 9th win.
Ninth. His 9th win of the year, tying Greg Biffle, I believe. I believe that ties Greg Biffle for the Truck Series record, which, I mean, it's very impressive out of Corey Heim. I mean, he should be in Cup. Knock, Denny Hamlin.
Yes.
I know, Denny. I know, Denny. I know you want that cash, but I know you want that terrible's cash, but the convenience store cash. But what would be better? But yeah. In the end, there were 2 trucks, as this was a cutoff race for the trucks. Oh yeah, I forgot to talk about the cutoff. We'll talk about that, I guess, after we talk about the modifieds and ARCA. So Chandler Smith was eliminated alongside Jake Garcia. So the 2 of them are out of the playoffs, and we have cut the field down from 10 to 8 after this. Lane Riggs got 3rd. And by the way, here's a cool stat. Ever since June, the only 2 drivers that have won in the Truck Series are Corey Heim and Lane Riggs.
Wow.
They are the only 2 drivers to win. And,
That's crazy.
I feel people need to be ready for Lane Riggs next year, because Lane Riggs next year is going to be what Corey Heim was to the truck field this year at this
Probably.
rate, because
If he can keep it up.
And I know everyone, and I know Corey Heim should obviously definitely win the championship. I think
I agree.
I know playoffs. I know people are worried about playoffs and all messing things up at Phoenix, but I feel Heim is too good to lose it this time.
Yeah. Exactly.
And even then, I wouldn't really be that upset if Lane Riggs won the title, because with what he's been doing as of late, I would not be that upset. I mean, I would rather Heim obviously win the title for legitimacy purposes, but
Yeah.
Lane Riggs is to me also the only other guy who, to be honest, is championship worthy in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like, Lane Riggs and Corey Heim are the only two guys who deserve this championship. And
No, you're absolutely right.
yeah. And then we go through Gio Joe. I know he missed the playoffs, but he's really turned things around. I'm really proud of him. I do want to also comment on the graphics Fox was using for playoffs. Is green bad all of a sudden, and is red good all of a sudden? Did you notice that on the broadcast? Like,
Yeah, I did. Denny Hamlin on his podcast also brought attention to that. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I think I also saw it a lot on social media as well. People being confused about it. I'm like, that makes sense.
They may want, Fox. You may want to change that going into the next round.
It's certainly difficult though, because I mean, red is their color because Craftsman, that's their sponsor, and Craftsman's affiliated with red. But no, I totally get what you mean.
You may want to change that, because
yeah,
that confuses
or
people.
have a key, have like a key on the screen. Like, I don't even remember the last time we had like a key in NASCAR. Probably not since like the ESPN days, where they would say yellow drivers are drivers in the chase. You know.
Yeah.
I don't think we had a key since the ESPN days.
I think you're right.
Even NBC back in the 2000s would show, that would say yellow for drivers in the chase, and even the commentators would say that as well. I don't really know if they do that nowadays.
I'm not 100% sure. So then, going through some of the results, Enfinger, Honeycutt, Majeski, Corey LaJoie, who finished in 8th. Just want to kind of talk about him for a little bit, because there were some additional comments that did not make sense to me at all that he said on Stacking Pennies this morning.
Yeah,
and
for sure.
Basically, what he said was, let me scroll up to it. Apologize for this, but he said again, he is not interested in running in trucks, but yet he's running in trucks right now.
Yeah.
And he said he's looking for a Daytona 500 ride again next year, and then he said if he gets a really good opportunity, he would entertain it. And I was thinking, wait, maybe this could mean he wants to get a good truck ride, which would mean maybe a full-time Spire. Maybe he takes the McAnally truck ride that he turned down at first. I still don't get why he turned that down.
Yeah,
that made no sense to me. Or maybe even Colleague and trucks. And then he said after that he isn't entertaining truck offers. Like that clip from the Naked Gun, from the first one, I think, or it's one of the first ones where the whole audience slaps their head in the face simultaneously.
Oh, yeah.
That's literally how everyone felt after seeing that. Because I'm like, he's doing it again. He's trying to get him. Is he like saying, "Oh, I'd rather not race at all than race in front of 12 people"? Is that what he's trying to say? Like I don't think Corey understands that he's not worth this. He's not worth running in Cup anymore. Like, he's ruined his shot. Like, you can become a truck lifer and be successful there. Like, we've seen guys do that. Jack Sprague, Todd Bodine, Mike Skinner, Johnny Benson.
Yep.
Like, Matt Crafton, Johnny Sauter,
Yep.
Timothy Peters. So many of these guys ran trucks for life, and they found great success and won championships. Yep. Well, I don't think Timothy Peters did, but he was still very successful.
Yeah,
in the
he had
trucks.
good success. Yeah.
But I just don't understand what Corey is trying to say, because he's basically also insulting his father's legacy. Because remember, Randy was a Xfinity lifer, won 2 titles. up
Yeah.
for the Hall of Fame now. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
so like he was on the Hall of Fame ballot this year. So like I just don't understand what Corey's logic here is.
I I don't know. I just think he's kind of full of himself a little bit there. I mean,
Yeah,
he's got to know his worth. I mean, he got booted from his cup ride, and now he's trying to work his way back. And once you're, it's like for example the games. If you don't run well in the upper series, you get booted down, and you have to earn your way back right up. And that's
yeah,
how it works in real life. I mean,
yeah, yeah. It's just that
and
just was a whole thing. And then I want
he
to give
he
a shout out to some other guys in the field. And again, like LaJoy, like that felt like it felt almost like the same thing he said in January, where he said, "I don't want to
mm,
race in front of 12 people." Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, Corey, you're doing the same thing again. You claimed you apologized for that and didn't mean to be rude, but you just did the same thing again. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
I want to give a shout out to Mike Christopher Jr., by the way, who finished in 13th. This was his first ever
Mhm.
Truck Series start. He actually
Wow.
pulled double duty. He's the nephew of Ted Christopher, who
Mhm.
unfortunately this past weekend I think was the 8-year anniversary of his tragic plane crash.
Yep.
Unfortunately,
Yep.
but Mike Christopher Jr. I mean, he had a great run in the second Hallmark
Mhm.
Freezing truck. Finished 13th. Like, heard he might try another truck race as well. I heard maybe Phoenix. So I'd
Mm.
love to see him run again because Mike Christopher, I mean, he had a great run. And then
Yep.
I feel bad for Andres Perez because he was on track for a top 10, I think, maybe even top 5, and
Mhm.
he got wrecked. And then
Yeah.
we go through some of the other finishers, like Mason Massey. He had a good run in the 20 truck. Uh, Finished 19th. Youngs hasn't really been the best in trucks, but Massey gave it a good run this week, so I'm proud of that. And then Blake Lothian, the Massachusetts kid. I love this guy. He
Mm.
finished 20th, top 20 in the Rayome truck.
Mhm.
Really great run for Blake Lothian. He's an awesome guy.
Yep.
And then we go through some of the other finishers, like Tony Breidinger. Like, I feel like it just has been a season from hell for her.
Yeah.
I think there were only 23 guys that finished the race as well, out of the 36 that started.
Mm.
Yeah. And then Tomasi, I don't think he finished. Emmerling didn't finish. Like, 69 truck of Derek White didn't finish. Like, very interesting moment as well that we saw with the O2 and the 74 truck.
Mhm.
And it nearly took Hemrick out as well, which would
Yeah,
have hurt
it
his
did
playoff
almost.
chances. And Alexander, like, he was on the radio really angry, even
Yeah.
though it seemed like he kind of caused the incident. I also
Yeah.
noticed that Constant Contact was also doing a lot of promotion of the track. Like, it seems whenever Jay, and this is actual Constant Contact, it's not a subsidiary. Like, this is corporate
Yeah.
Constant Contact, which
Yeah.
they're a big company. I mean, at where my father works, they still use Constant Contact. So, I mean, it's still a big sponsorship deal there, but feel bad for Caleb Costner as well because he was just trying to mind his own business. And unfortunately, the two of them got tangled up and unfortunately
Yep.
wrecked out. Connor Jones, I know he also wrecked. I think he wrecked out. I think he said this was going to be his last truck start of the year, although he's trying to run more next year. Not sure what's going to happen with that. Norm Benning, he got parked, and Norm was pretty mad with the officials after that because he was like
Mhm.
saying, "I'm trying to stay out of the way, but these guys hate me and they don't want me here." But I mean, again, like, I love Norm. I love Norm Benning, but you got to make minimum speed. That's how it is everywhere. You got to make
Yep.
minimum speed.
Yep. That
So
is the
yeah.
rules.
So if I go to the standings, I'll go to the Cup standings first. So right now, Ryan Blaney is the first guy currently in because he locked in. Uh,
Yep.
so playoff. So amongst the playoffs, the first guy in, the last guy in, excuse me, is Chase Briscoe who is 12 points to the good. Ross Chastain is 12 points out. Austin Cindric is 19 out. Tyler
Yep.
Reddick is 23 out, and Bubba Wallace is 27 out. So
Yep.
in terms of later runs for these guys, I'm not really sure, how I feel because like Logano is not really the best at Kansas and the Roval in the next gen. So
Mm-mm.
I don't know how I feel about Logano's chances in those races. Chastain is last
Mm.
year's Kansas winner. So
Yeah.
Chastain could easily sneak his way into the round of 8. I
Yeah.
feel Chase Briscoe is going to probably be able to rebound in these next few
Yep.
races just with the 19's momentum.
Yep.
And
I agree.
I know people are saying, and I mean, the Logano just is not good at the Roval, for example. So
No.
I just feel that this could be a round of 12 elimination for the past champion. And then
Yep.
Cindric, I just don't see him making it through. Reddick and
No.
Bubba, they just need good runs these next. And
Yep.
Reddick can be good at the Roval.
Yep.
Kansas, he's won at before. Both
Yep.
2311,
Yep.
Kansas is one of their best tracks. So
Exactly.
they
Yes.
just have to make sure they can do. They just have to make sure that they can run great all day because in the spring race they admittedly were not the best.
Yep.
So I just think that even though Kansas, it's one of 2311's best tracks, this is a chance for 2311 to perhaps make some ground on the cut line.
Yeah.
But yeah, and I feel Chase Elliott. I feel a bit concerned about Chase Elliott as well. I mean,
Mm.
I know he was second in regular season points, very consistent all year. It's just that he's won the Roval before,
Yep.
twice I think actually,
Yep. He won it in 19 and
19 and
20.
20.
Yep.
It's just that, and I know he almost won in the spring at Kansas. It's just that I feel the 9 hasn't really had a whole lot of speed as of late, but
Mm.
you know, considering Kansas and the Roval are good tracks for Chase, maybe I shouldn't
Yep.
be too worried. I feel
Yeah.
I feel though, even though Chastain, Reddick, and Bubba all have a shot to perhaps knock someone out, the only guy I
Mm.
really feel that could go down is Logano.
Hmm.
So I feel Chase Brisk it's gonna be really close here. The cutoff is gonna be
Yeah.
really close going to the Roval. I really
Yeah.
hope we get the excitement we saw at the end of Roval last year, where Reddick fought his way through the field to
Yep.
just get Logano, which eliminated Logano at first until Alex Bowman got disqualified for cheating.
Yep.
Yeah, which I am curious if something like that is going to happen again because that was big.
We'll see.
It won Logano the title. I mean, we all thought even year Joey was done for, and then Alex
Yep.
Bowman gets disqualified because they broke the rules.
Yep.
Like
They did.
I'm sorry. I know the ballast came off, but the ballast could easily have been too loose trying to bend
Yep.
the rules.
Exactly.
So
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
And
but and they didn't even appeal it.
it's
I was
no,
surprised
they
they
didn't.
didn't try to appeal it. So
It's hard to get away with stuff with this new car. It's absolutely hard to make any sort of slight adjustment and get away with it.
but Hendrick did that with Alex Bowman.
Yep.
So I think now we'll move on to the truck grid. So right now with the reset, Corey Heim is actually, if I don't know if this is correct, it shows him 69 points to the good right now because of all the playoff points he's accumulated. And
Yep.
then Lane Riggs is 22 to the good. I feel the two of them are guaranteed locks into the final
Yeah.
four at this point. Both he
I'm
and
with
Lane
you there
Riggs.
for sure.
It's going to come down to how these next 3 go. The trucks are off for Kansas. They go to Roval, Talladega, Martinsville. Hemrick,
Which
Hemrick and
is
Majeski are currently above.
yeah.
Ankrum is tied, but loses the tiebreaker to Majeski. Then
Yeah.
Enfinger's 3 below, Raja's 5, and Honeycutt is 7. So I feel here this could also be a tight battle. I feel
Yeah.
though. I
It's
feel if someone's gonna get in it from below, I feel it's gonna be Grant Enfinger, especially because Talladega is one of his best tracks. I mean,
Yep.
it's his home track too, but
Yep.
Talladega is one of Grant Enfinger's best tracks.
Yep.
So I just feel that that if someone's gonna break into the final 4 that's below right now, it's gonna be Grant Enfinger.
Yeah. I mean, what a round. That's got to be arguably one of the most difficult rounds of
Yeah.
racing for sure. I mean, the Roval is always chaos. It's always a difficult track. I mean, you want to be up front and want to have a good handling car. Talladega, anyone can get taken out in an instant, and of course Martinsville. There's going to be some beating and banging. There's probably going to be some. That's always how it's going to be. So
I'd like to
should be
now
exciting.
Yeah, I'd like to now talk about the Wheeling Modified race, which for some reason was held at 9 o'clock in the morning. I don't know why that
Yeah,
was.
I saw that. I'm just like, do they really need that much time for practice? I know the truck race is going to be early afternoon, but for practice and qualifying, I mean, they could have ran that. I mean, usually they do that right in the morning. Any races, like, I think they usually run the modified race around like earliest 11, maybe even noon. So that
Yeah,
was
and
a interesting choice for
yeah.
sure.
The winner ended up actually being Tyler Ripkema, which ended up being his
Mm,
first career win. And that finish was insane. He won the race
yes, it was.
without a tire.
Yes, he was
And
wrecking across and kept his pedal to the floor and crossed the line first.
that was absolutely insane. And I
Yeah,
look at
it
some of the
was.
guys, like Bonsinger was battling so hard for the win. I mean,
Yep,
he's trying to go for another title.
yep.
Like, I mean, really great, some really great runs in this race. Like Andy Seiss, for example, co-owner of
Hmm.
Class Motorsports. Nice seeing him
Yep.
running. Has a Cup start in New
Mm.
Hampshire too. Ran in 2019. And then, I mean,
Hmm.
you see some other guys like John McKennedy who won the title in
Yep.
2022. Like there were some pretty good runs throughout the field. Some
Yep.
disappointments, like
Oh
Doug
yeah.
Coby after only like
Yep.
2 laps. That was sad because
Yeah, that was.
this was Doug Coby's first race in the modified tour since last year.
Yep.
So that was really sad for him because
Yep.
only his return only lasted 2 laps in the Tommy Baldwin car, and you gotta love Tommy
Yep.
Baldwin as well. So like
Yep.
I just feel really bad, and I know on Door Bumper Clear they were joking about how I woke up for only 2 laps. I guess that's what Freddie was saying as a spotter because he
Oh yeah.
spotted for both
Yep.
Doug Coby and Gio Ruggiero on the same day.
Yep.
So not really a whole lot to go into there, but I do hope that next year maybe they schedule that modified race a little better. Now New Hampshire
Yeah.
is going out of the playoffs again into
Yep.
late August, which I
Sadly.
mean, I feel, which it's kind of sad because like I don't think I feel like had the schedule not been out yet, they may have kept it because they had a sold out crowd at New Hampshire.
Yeah, it was packed. I
Yeah,
mean, that was the first time in, oh goodness, I can't even remember how many years it's been since I've seen it that packed. I mean, obviously the last time I went there was COVID, so obviously it was very sparse seating, but there were still
I that's the only
probably about
race.
15,000 that were there that showed
Yeah,
up,
that was the
I
only
think.
race that I went to at New Hampshire. I'd love to go back again in a normal year. I think that'd be fun. But New Hampshire, like, I mean, like New Hampshire, like, and I remember on Dork Upper Clear, Freddie was saying, people in Northeast, you better start showing up because you never know. New Hampshire and Dover could be on the chopping block because I know some of those two tracks can be the hardest to fill. Even though New Hampshire, this is their first sellout since I think the 2000s.
Yeah, I want to say you're correct. I mean, even when I first started going, it was packed, but I don't think it was completely sold out.
But this is
But
their
I think,
first. Yeah, I want to say this is their first sellout since the 2000s
yeah, I want to say
at
you're
New
right.
Hampshire. And I know TV ratings have struggled this year, but
Oh yeah.
attendance has gone up this year, which I find interesting.
Hmm.
Like I find it interesting that TV ratings struggle, but yet attendance doesn't struggle.
Yeah.
Like I find that interesting. Like I mean, I'm not sure why. I think the TV deal also. I think the TV deal going being on 4 different networks hurts viewers. It has been the main
Yeah,
thing
a
hurting
little bit.
viewership this year because you got to
A
go
little
to
bit.
Fox and Fox Sports One. Cable is
Yep.
going down still. People are
Yep.
cutting cable. I still have cable, but many people
Yeah,
are
I still
cutting
do too.
cable.
Yep.
Many people are cutting cable. So like, I feel that the TV deal being on so many different networks like Amazon Prime, TNT, which
Yep.
is also cable,
Yep.
USA Network, and Big NBC. Like, I just think that cable, a lot of races still being on cable TV is hurting the ratings this year the most.
Yeah,
In
for
addition
sure.
to some people getting a bit fatigued with the next gen and playoffs. But
Yeah.
I still think the TV deal is hurting things because it's a strange variable because
Yeah, exactly.
because people want to go to races again, but
Yeah.
yet they don't want to watch on TV or can't watch on TV. I might maybe saying can't watch on TV is better to say because, as I said, people are cutting cable. But yeah, just something to kind of keep in mind in terms of attendance. And I know Freddie was saying months ago, you better pack New Hampshire if you want to stay around. I think that New Hampshire being sold out, and I know there was some rumor going around that Marcus Smith wanted to get rid of Dover and New Hampshire, but I think New Hampshire's place has been solidified on the schedule because they've been struggling to pack New Hampshire the past few years. But this year they did it. And I just think that had the schedule not come out until now, New Hampshire may have stayed in the playoffs because, remember, Richmond was supposed to go into May. Richmond was supposed to go back into May. Then they sell out. They have their first sellout since the 2000s as well at Richmond in August, which absolutely great to see Richmond having a sellout. And I mean, this is why tracks going to one date is so beneficial. I know Dover has not had a sellout since going to one date, but it was packed last year and this year. Like, Dover was packed last year and this year, but the unfortunate part was that it didn't sell out, which might be why that got moved to be the All-Star race this year.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know for sure, though, but even then, I feel like the Dover All-Star race might be a one-year thing because it was super last minute. Because North Wilkesboro, they tried to get it a points day last minute, because they announced North Wilkesboro was going to be the All-Star race again right after it happened. So, I just think that it was super last minute. What can we move? Okay, can we do Dover last minute? So, like, I just feel that the All-Star race being at Dover is like a one-year thing.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just a placeholder.
And then maybe they give it a points day back and have something else. Maybe be the All-Star race in 27. Like
maybe a second Richmond.
Maybe the only thing is Speedway Motorsports has full control over the All-Star race.
That's true. That's true.
I personally feel Las Vegas would be, in my opinion, the best track for the All-Star race if you're going to move it. Like,
it could be an interesting venue
just
for the All-Star race.
I still feel that Las Vegas would be. I mean, they're not doing Texas again. They are not. They're not doing Texas All-Star race again. Like, I think at this point, Texas is much better off just being a points race if it's even going to stick around. But
that's probably the quickest one to go, honestly, if we're going to be honest about tracks on the list to go.
Like, Dover should not be on the list to go. I mean, I'm being kind of biased because I go to Dover every year, but you can probably agree with me that Dover should not be a track cut.
I don't think so, no.
Texas would be better.
The racing hasn't been the greatest, but I feel like it would be really weird to not see Dover on the schedule at least once.
And Dover has gotten better with the next gen compared to the Gen 6. Like it's been better with the next gen compared to the Gen 6. So, like, and I can't believe I'm saying it, but, like, I feel the last two Cup races at Texas were actually decent. I can't believe I'm saying that. Actually, maybe three, because the 2023 fall race was actually a decent one, too. Like, I can't believe I'm saying that Texas has had decent racing with the next gen. I can't believe I'm saying that.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, going back, of course. We'll talk a little bit about the ARCA race, and then we'll kind of jump into next weekend's races. So the ARCA race at Salem, this was actually a pretty decent one. Like, Salem, it's basically a mini Bristol for ARCA. That's how I kind of put it. It's basically a mini Bristol for ARCA, or another Dover, depending on how you wanna say it. Yeah. So, like, the win ended up going to Butterbean again, Brendan Queen. He ended up winning again. I love this guy, by the way. Like, he's got one of the best. He's got one of the best personalities. Like, in racing. I really hope he continues to move up because he's a star that would really help NASCAR out with finding stars. Because Butterbean is someone that I think really deserves a spotlight. But you had some other interesting runs, like Andrew Patterson. He got second in his only race for Nitro Motorsports. Leland Honeyman in third.
Nice.
Really disappointed, though, for LeVar Scott, because he dominated this race. He actually dominated. It was looking like he was going to finally have a chance to get his first win. The caution, unfortunately, came out late, and he had a bad restart. Butterbean took off.
Yep.
And I felt really bad for LeVar. If you saw his interview after the race, he was really emotional. Like, I felt really bad for him.
Mm.
And then Isabella Robusto got a top 5. Good run for her. Mason Mitchell, Will Kimmel, 7th. Connor Popplewell was in 8th. He had a decent run in the 95. Local guy to Salem, runs super stocks there. Weekly, some other interesting runs, like Tony Cosentino, 9th, Ryan Vargas, 10th. I love Ryan Vargas, awesome guy.
Mm-hmm.
One of the nicest guys I've met around.
Yep.
And I was really glad that ARCA did something for Mike Basham, who made his 100th start.
Yep.
And, I know he finished 11 laps down, but he ran the whole race. I know Mike has had to start and park a lot. But Mike Basham, he ran the whole race for his 100th race. And his father, you may remember Daryl Basham being a prominent veteran of ARCA. He has over 300 starts.
Mm-hmm.
His first, I think, was in the 70s. He was in attendance there.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That's
awesome.
I want to say Daryl's about 75 now, Daryl Basham, I think.
Yep.
Something like that. So, it was really nice to see him in attendance. But yeah, and ARCA, Salem, it was really hard to pass, but again, when they could pass, there was great racing. And the battles between LeVar and Max Reeves, for example, that last caution was for Max Reeves, by the way. That was fun to watch. So I think now would be a good time to transition into next week's races at Kansas. So for Kansas, we got Cup, Xfinity, ARCA. No trucks this week. They are off this week.
Yep.
But we'll go through the entry lists here in a second, and there have been some entry list updates as well for today in Xfinity. We'll get to those in a little bit. The only notable entrant on the Cup side of things is the only non-full-time open car, which is the 44 of JJ Yaley. Nice to see JJ back. It's nice to see the NY Racing team back after that horrible fire they had back at Darlington with Kraus driving. That was really scary.
Yep.
They were supposed to go run Bristol as well, but because of the fire, they had to skip that one.
Yep.
But thankfully they did say, thankfully they are coming to Kansas this week. And there's some interesting sponsors as well that I saw on the entry list. There's a new scheme for Ryan Preece, Dean's Dip on the Todd Gilliland car. Daniel Suarez is running a special freeway insurance car for Hispanic Heritage Month. I think that's very special.
That's awesome.
Cody Ware's running the Evil Knievel car again.
Awesome.
And the Cincinnati car also debuts for Byron this week. I love that American flag car that he's got. And Kyle Busch, he's debuting a new car as well. A new Cheddar's Kitchen scheme. But yeah.
Should be good
So
to
for
see
the
him on track.
Xfinity, So for the Xfinity entry list, there are 39 cars entered. Now, for 38 spots, which means one car will go home unless someone withdraws, which it could happen. We saw someone withdraw from Bristol. The 5 of Stephen Parsons, you may remember, withdrew, and he moved into the 35. It was the same exact car. They just ran at the 35 for just because Gase wanted to put together a deal because the 35 would probably have gone home because the 5 was still higher in owner points.
Yeah.
So amongst the notable entrants, we have Nick Lights in the 07, Butterbean making another Xfinity start in the 11, Brendan Queen, Garrett Smithly in the 14. They also just announced a new sponsor for the last 6 Xfinity races of the year. Raja Karuth in the 17. This is a big deal for him.
Yep.
I'm really glad that he's getting this opportunity as well.
Hopefully he makes the most of it.
I think he will. I think he'll do better than how Corey Day has done in the 17, in all honesty. Justin Bonsignor in the 19. Nice to see him back. Is this an additional race for him? Was he supposed to run Kansas?
I'm not sure, actually.
This might be. I'm not 100% sure. Dr. Patrick Staropoli, the eye doctor in the 24. Again, nice to see Dr. Staropoli back. with the side fork colors. Austin Green in the 32. Really nice to see him back. Overplay also returning. They've been kind of gone from Austin Green's rides as of late, so nice to see them back. The 35, which is now listed to be having Glenn Reen behind the wheel. I love Glenn Reen. Awesome guy to talk to. He's awesome.
Nice.
Mason Massey returns to the 45 again. I believe the 4 of Parker Retzlaff also is an interesting sponsor this week. I missed that. OxyClean, from what it looks like, is going to be sponsoring Parker Retzlaff this week. So for those of you who remember the old Billy Mays commercials with OxyClean, you get somewhat of a throwback to that this week.
Nice.
Yeah. And then Joey Gase in the 53. Not a surprise that he's running at one of his tracks close to home because Kansas is pretty close to Iowa. Nice to see Joey Gase back.
Yep.
Leland Honeyman back in the 70. Again, he's pulling double duty. We'll get to the ARCA list in a little bit. Cole Raz in the 76. This is his second Xfinity start. And the 91, which is another driver change, Josh Williams in the 91 from Florida. So, and then did you see the Matt DiBenedetto scheme this week? He's running a Law and Order Toronto scheme. CW bought the space for that, so that's an interesting paint scheme. But yeah, I mean, Cole Raz. But if qualifying for some reason gets canceled or rained out, the 76 would go home. I could see maybe Gase trying to put together another deal to get the 35 more owner points. But at the same time, the 76 might also want to build up owner points. So maybe they put together a deal, or maybe Glenn Reen was able to come up with extra funding to race. Like, I don't know exactly what the deal there is going to be, but I could maybe see Gase trying to put together a deal to get the 76 to withdraw and have Cole run the 35, like what they did at Bristol.
Yeah.
So maybe something happens with that. So we also have the ARCA entry list, 29 cars for Kansas, which that might be the biggest ARCA Kansas entry list in quite a while. Last year I think they had 28, which was still pretty big. But
that's 29.
Yeah, and I know some people mention car counts for ARCA, but the car counts for ARCA have really gone up the past few years after how bad they were during COVID.
Yeah, exactly.
But and there is talk that the ARCA schedule is going to be releasing potentially as soon as this week, maybe next week. I've heard from multiple sources the ARCA schedule is very close to being announced. It might be as soon as this week. We'll see. So amongst the notables in ARCA, we have Kevin Hinkle returning in the 0. Nice to see Kevin back. He's a really nice guy as well. I love this name. I love this guy's name. Eloy Falcon, Sebastian Lopez in the 2. Eloy Falcon. I love this guy's name. I believe this is going to be his last start of the year in the 2 for Rev Racing. Nice to see Eric Caudell back, the Oklahoma native and oil consultant in the 7 car. Matt Kemp in the 9. Ed Pompa in the 10. This is another additional race for him. He also had added DuCoin to his schedule when he ran that. I believe this will be a full race deal. Tony Cosentino in the 11. That might be a full race deal, not 100% sure. He was trying to run this race as well as Toledo, which he is going to be running as well. Takuma Koga. I love Takuma Koga running another main ARCA race in the 12. Takuma coming all the way over from Japan just to run these races in ARCA. I love Takuma's dedication for that.
That's awesome.
The guy's an awesome dude.
Yep.
Chris Wright in the 15, his last of 3 scheduled starts for Venerini. Patrick Staropoli also pulling double duty in the 17 for Bruce Cook. Gio Ruggiero in the 18 for Joe Gibbs. Leland Honeyman in the 20 again. For those who may not remember, Lawless Allen is out of that car due to a lack of sponsorship now. Tyler Reif in the 23 for the Sigma Performance Services entry. Mason Mitchell in the 25. This might be his last start of the year. I'm not 100% sure. Bobby Dale Earnhardt in 31. Nice to see him getting a second start of the year. Bobby Earnhardt, the older son of Kerry Earnhardt, older brother to Jeffrey Earnhardt. Really nice to see Bobby Dale getting another shot at it. I hope Bobby Dale has a better run here than he did at Bristol. And he's run Xfinity races. He's run Xfinity races at Bristol. Excuse me, at Kansas. So could be a decent run for the Rise team. Andrew Patterson in the 40. Thad Moffitt in the 46. This will be his last start of the year for Thad Moffitt in the 46. Ryan Rowlett making his last ARCA start of the year in the 67 for Maples Motorsports. Taylor Reimer in the 70. Nice to see her back, the dirt USAC driver. Andy Jankowiak, his last start of the year, I believe, in the 73. Corey Day in the 77, his last ARCA start of the year. Alex Clubb in the 86, I believe he's finishing out the year in the 86 instead of running the 03. And then Jeff McConey, who is in the 03 and not the 86, as originally announced, because I believe they swapped owner points. So, Jeff, that's also going to be a full race deal as well there. And he's running the last 2 of the year. So, could be interesting here, because I feel there's a bunch of race contenders here, like maybe LeVar Scott or maybe Gio, Leland Honeyman. I feel could be a winning contender. Butterbean, like I feel there's maybe about 5 to 6 guys that I feel, maybe 5 to 7 that I feel have a winning shot here. Like LeVar, I could say, Gio Ruggiero, Leland Honeyman, Butterbean. I could argue Robusto as well because she won the pole for this race last year. And I could also make an argument for Corey Day, as he is in a Spire car this week.
Yeah.
And maybe Andy J could have something up his sleeve, because he almost won this race last year. He was like second. Yep. He almost got to, was it Tanner Gray in the 18 last year? I think it was.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, he almost beat him. And then, unfortunately, Corey Day took him out at the end on the last lap.
Yep.
That was a shame. But, we'll see what happens here. And then ARCA West is also going to Madera. They have not released their entry list yet, but there are some entrants mentioned in the pit box, such as for example, Jaron Giannini, who won the pole for this race last year, making his second start of the year for the 23 team, the Clark Racing team. On Andrew Chapman and Eric Nascimento also running on the race, and it looks like Cody Dennison is also running this race. Oh boy, is all I'm going to say. Yeah, oh boy is all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, seems like, hope they get a somewhat decent car count, because the West Series has really struggled with car counts this year. I know Joey East is also going to be running in the Nike Flower car again. So, kind of a bit interested to see what comes out of that. Let me gonna try to go through some of the other topics here. Gonna try to go through some of the other last topics that I got here before we wrap up for today, because there are a few more topics that I had on my agenda. I know one was over some silly season stuff related to IndyCar, and which includes some recent news, such as David Malukas. He is taking the reins of the 12, which, I mean, that 12 Verizon car has always been driven by Will Power. It's going to feel so different seeing Malukas in 12 next year. Like Will Power, I mean, even outside, and I know Will Power is going to be with Andretti next year, but when people think about IndyCar, people who don't watch IndyCar, whenever they think of IndyCar, they're going to think of guys like Scott Dixon and the 9 car, and people will associate Will Power with the 12. Well, it's going to feel so confusing for many people.
No, it is.
And then something else, there was another thing that I also thought about. Dennis Hauger, the Indy NXT champion, formerly Indy Lights, is moving up to the 18, I believe, for Dale Coyne Racing. That was announced this morning, I think, in fact.
Nice.
Is he the first Norwegian driver to run an IndyCar? He might be.
Ooh, maybe. I'm not sure, actually.
There are some other rumors going around the IndyCar paddock, such as Romain Grosjean has been rumored to take the second Dale Coyne car, which might be numbered 19 instead of 51, because Rick Ware's no longer part of that deal. There's been talk about the 4 at AJ Foyt. Some people think Jacob Abel could go there. Maybe Renus VK. People think Renus. There's also talk about the 76 which could be renumbered to 78 at Juncos Hollinger. People are Connor Daly, I know, wants to keep that ride, but there's talk that Renus could also maybe go there instead. And then there's talk that maybe Devlin DeFrancesco could maybe be out of the 30 because I think he has a performance clause in his contract. I know his deal runs through next year, but I think I saw something that he has a performance clause in his deal. So that might be a point of interest for this offseason. But yeah, just something to kind of think about. But yeah, and then the last thing, maybe the last thing, unless you got something else. Oh wait, one more thing about the races this weekend. The Canada Series just wrapped up, and for the first time ever in Canada Series history, there has been a back-to-back champion, I believe, with Marc-Antoine Cameron winning the title. So the first ever back-to-back. I'd love to see Marc-Antoine Cameron run a race like in the States, or maybe if NASCAR comes to Montreal or back to Mosport in the future, I'd love to see him run in one of those. Like, I really would. And then, the last thing I was going to mention was apparently there's now talk that TV is no longer going to have a say in next year's playoff format. It seems like they want to leave it to the committee now, completely. Which I find that interesting. Like, is this a deal where maybe TV doesn't want to... Because I know Jeff Gluck had mentioned that TV gets the final say a while back, if you remember. So, is this TV maybe trying to save face and try to not get any blame over the format, perhaps?
Yeah, possibly. I mean, I remember Jeff Burton going on, what was it? But
Door
he
bumper
was
clear.
recent. Yeah, door bumper clear, and talking about, it's not NBC isn't, don't throw NBC under the bus for the playoff decisions and all that stuff.
Even though Jeff Gluck had literally said he's part of the playoff committee, that TV has a say in this. So
exactly.
For a bit I was like, who do we trust? But it seems like TV has pulled themselves out of these discussions, and they want to let everyone. I think they said there's about 30 to 40 people on this committee, which I think it's good that they have these people, that they have this committee. It shows that NASCAR wants to make a change, which.
Exactly,
it still looks like the format next year is going to. It still looks like we're going to go away from the one race format, one race winner take all. There is a lot of discussion about playoff points as well as like winning you're in. Like, it seems like there's still a lot of discussion about that. It still seems like, and I know Denny Hamlin said it looks like we're heading for a better format, and he seems happy with. On X's Detrimental, Denny was also saying new form. It looks like the format for next year will be a lot better. I know the main thing people are critiquing is about that there's talk that there might be 6 drivers for the final round, which that would be for it. Now, just for clarification's sake, that would not be with a one race format. That would be four races in total.
Yep.
But I don't know how I feel about it, just because I feel it's to balance out the fact that there's more races.
Yeah.
So I do think we could see a new playoff format announcement soon. I would imagine it probably would be a 4-race finale, which I'd be open to it. I mean, it won't be perfect. I'd rather see the 10-race chase, or heck, even full season. I'm not opposed to either.
Yep.
But I just think the direction they're going is a step. And if Denny Hamlin, who people consider to be the best voice for fans alongside Mark Martin, I think that if Denny is saying that, we might be going in a good direction. It looks like we are.
That's what I would hope.
Yeah, and I mean, I think the 4-race finale will be a lot better, because so it's just something that we're going to keep an eye on. Anything else that you got on your mind?
I mean, about the potential changes to the format, the 4-race could be really something. It could get the fans to get rid of the whole Mickey Mouse championship thing. I mean, I don't fully disagree with that, but it is unfortunately the format that we're dealt with, and we have to deal with until they decide to make the change, of course. But
I do think
it'll be interesting to see what they throw for the Final Four. Are all the tracks going to be different tracks? So, are we going to get a short track, an intermediate, a super speedway, and a road course, or is it going to be a couple mile and a half of super speedway and then a short track?
I'm interested in what they do, because because I think that this could be something fun. Like, I think that the 4-race finale will probably crown more legitimate champions because
I think so too.
I feel that, like, I think it will crown more legitimate champions, which
Yeah.
NASCAR I know they've said it that we want to get rid of the 1 race. Like, executives have even said we're probably going away from the 1 race winner take all deal because that's outlived its day. Like, I feel too many teams have figured that out. Like, let's make you have to earn it over 4 races, which is something that Joey Logano probably does not want, for example.
No, probably not.
Because I feel he would not win another title under those circumstances. Although maybe 10 years ago he would have. Like, if this was 2015, which Joey arguably was the best driver in the playoffs, like, all throughout the playoffs. Like, I feel maybe that could have been his year. And
it could have been. And then nobody would have been questioning his legitimacy of championships.
What's interesting, though, is that had we been doing the 10-race chase, he would actually be a 4-time champion if we had still been doing that. Because he would have won 2014 through 16 and then 18, which even then, 2014 through 16, those would probably have all been deserving because he was one of the top guys all year round. Like, 18, that's a bit sketchy considering you had the big 3. You had the big 3 that year. But, anything else you got racing-wise on your plate?
I will say, like, the being at a race for the first time in 5 years was really fun, and the next gen cars were pretty awesome. I mean, they definitely put the Gen 6 cars to shame in person. Like, they sound a lot better. They're a lot louder, and it races better at New Hampshire.
At New Hampshire, at least, there are some tracks where the next gen does need some fixing. Like some of the road courses, some of the short tracks, maybe Talladega as well. Right. It's just that, like, it depends on the track. And
it does.
I know when people generally say, "Oh, all the short tracks are bad for the next gen, no matter what." Well, here's the thing, though. Like, you can't say all of them because you have to also cherry pick the ones where it's actually good at. Like New Hampshire is good with the next gen. Richmond is good with the next gen. And Richmond, I could say, has re-earned its nickname of being the action track again.
Yep.
And then Dover, I mean, they've had some good races with the next gen. Like, what else was I gonna say? Like, I feel even the fall Martinsville races haven't been that bad with the next gen. I know the spring Martinsville. The spring Martinsville race this year was like the first decent one that I would say was passable. The last 3 before that were not good. But,
no, they were not.
But spring Martinsville this year was actually decent. So maybe Martinsville's kind of starting to improve with the next gen.
Yeah.
It's just, I think we could see some more. I do think that there will be some more changes. Like, I think that they are going to look more into how the tires wear in colder conditions than in hotter somehow.
Yep.
They're going to look into that. But again, like, I think that's going to do it for this week unless there's anything else going on. I don't think there's anything else really going on racing-wise.
Don't think so.
So I think that's going to do it for this week, guys. So, again, thank you, Shadowbones, for joining me for this. This was a fun episode. And I hope we get more races next year, maybe.
Yeah, hopefully.
I hope we can get more races next year. So that's going to be it for this episode, guys. Again, I'm your host, Adam Relkin, joined by Shadowbones this week. We will be back next week, hopefully with another guest. We will be reviewing Kansas, previewing, what's after that? The Roval.
Yep, Roval.
And it's going to be a fun show, I think. So I hope you guys tune in next week. A lot going on racing-wise. We get to the end of the year, and there's going to be so much fun to talk about with the end of the playoffs. So I hope you guys stick around, and we will see you guys next week. Have a good night, everyone.
Goodbye, everybody.